live. Let's see. Let's see over here. Yes, sir. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Let's make sure. Yeah, there we go. There we go. We are live. We are live indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right. There we go. There we go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Are we live on the X? Let's make sure we're live on the X. All right. Yes, we are live on the X. Are we live on the Twitch? Let's make sure. Twitch. Oh, let me just move this a little bit to the right. There we go. That looks better. That's better. Much better. Much better. Yes. Good. All right. Let's see if we're live on the Twitch. Are we live on the Twitch? Let's make sure. Let's make sure. There we go. All right. Let's see. Okay. Looks like we're live on the Twitch. Yes, sir. All right. Let's get everything all set up and squared away. All right. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. How's everybody doing today? Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. And I'm just chilling right now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Yes, sir. How's everybody doing today, man? How you guys doing? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know how you guys are doing. I'm just getting everything all set up and ready to go. All squared away. Boom, right there. Just getting all the announcements out. You know how it is. You know how it is. Bop right there. Bop right there. Bop right there. Letting everybody know. Letting everybody know that we are live. Yes, sir. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. Okay. There we go. Bop right there. All right. Let's see. All right. Bop right there. Let's make sure. Yes, everything looks copacetic. Boom. All right. All good. All good. All good. All righty. Let's see here. Ooh. Let's make sure we share here. Let the people on X know that we are live. Yes, sir. All right. There we go. Okay. All right. All right. All right. There we go. Right there. Boom. Okay. All set. And let's get the little things over here. All right. Oh, hold on. Let me fix this real quick. A little glitcheroo that always happens there. Let me fix that. Bop right there. Boom right there. Boom. We'll fix that. Bop right there. Boom. Okay, we are good. Yes, sir. All right, let's get started. What's up, guys? It's Double Nicks, and welcome to another episode of Microcap Mornings. I am your host with the most. They call me DBL Nicks in the house, a.k.a. the Rainmaker. And I am here with the lovely Serengeti specialist herself. She likes to hang around the tall weeds, the high trees, the low seas, hitting them high knees. Sometimes she likes 2 cups of coffee. Other times she likes to jet ski. Sometimes she likes to get shot out the cannon and she goes wee. Other times she likes to go to Arby's and watch videos of puppies and kitties. Other times she likes to go out and steal my lo mein. Other times she'll go to Wendy's, and other times she'll find some wonderful stonks like MSOX, AKN, and YCBD. We call her DBL Moms. Hey! All right, so that's what we got going on, folks. That is what we got going on right there. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. And remember to share, because sharing is caring, folks. Sharing is caring. And, of course, if you want access to our private Discord, link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comments section. So be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We're just made different, and the early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loot, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So that's what we got going on, folks. So let's get started with some stonks here. Let's get started with some stonks, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. All right. So let's start off with over here. MSOX, MSOX. See how that stock is doing right there. MSOX, boom. All right, so as of now, MSOX had a little bit of an uptrend earlier in the day, All right, so you got that going on right here, bop, right there, climbing its way on up. All right, and then kind of forming a bit of a pennant right over here. All right, let me fix this over here, bop, right there. Don't need an arrow right now. No, thank you. I'm good. Let's make this a bit thicker with 2 C's. All right, and there we go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So as of now, we got a bit of a pennant forming on MSOX right here. Had a bit of a shot upward. Right, went back down a little bit before climbing its way back up there again. Then afterwards, it fell below the VWAP, started kind of consolidating a little bit, climbed up just a little bit to test that VWAP, fell back down, and then started to form this little tiny cup and handle, if you guys can see it right over here. Let me actually get rid of this right here. Boom. All right, and let me show you. Let me zoom in the room. Right there, boom, you see it? Right there. This little thing looks kind of like a cup and handle a little bit. Possibly, maybe, we'll see what happens. Possible cup and handle pattern right here. Can it curl up? Maybe we'll see what happens. Let's take a look at the float and volume of this stock. Let's take a look here. We got the float. Float is unknown as of this time, but the volume is 616.3 thousand. So as of now, this stock is in terms of that volume. We'll need to see what happens. It has a cup and handle, or at least it looks like a cup and handle, so we'll see what goes on there. It's a bit of a strange-looking cup and handle, but a cup and handle nonetheless, so we'll see what goes on. Can it curl above that cup and handle? I hope so. I hope so, ladies and gentlemen. That'd be awesome. That'd be great. MSOX up 72% right now, currently $6.57, leaning towards 58. So we'll see what goes on there. Let me get that right there. Bot right there. MSOX needs to break the cup and handle pattern. Needs to break through that cup and handle pattern and break above it for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, let's see what else we got over here. YCBD. YCBD just shot up. Let me see how YCBD is doing. Let's see how YCBD is doing. Up 106%. Up 106% YCBD. Let me make sure. Let me take a look over here, see how YCBD is doing. YCBD, yeesh, had a nice movement earlier in the day. It is a bagger, YCBD. YCBD, we called it earlier in the day. Hold on 1 second. 1 second right here. YCBD. All right. We called YCBD. Actually, we started calling it yesterday at 5:37 p.m. All right, ran up a nice 31%, and then afterwards, we called it this morning at 3:03 a.m., and it shot up to a nice 43% over here. Now it's currently 106%. So as of now, YCBD is a bagger. Bagger, baby, bagger. Yes, sir. YCBD, new bagger, 106% right there. All right, there we go. Put that there. All right. And let's see here. Bop right there. YCBD, new bagger, ladies and gentlemen, up 106%. Up 106% right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So as of now, YCBD is currently up 106%. Well, now it's 102%, but it did move as high as 106%. So yes, new bagger right there. Let me see here. Take this for now. Let me just get a piece of paper here so I can write it down for myself right here. Right here. Hold on. Hold on. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. 1 second. Let's see. Get that pen. There we go. YCBD 106% right there. There we go. So YCBD up 106%. That is the new bagger of the day. Had a nice movement going on over here. If you really wanted to say it, you could actually say that this is a to B, B to C, C to D right over here. All right. Could say that. You could definitely say that. As a matter of fact, you could. But, you know, because if I scrunch it up, it does look like an ABCD pattern, right? But it is kind of going down a little bit, kind of going down just a little bit right here. So I'm going to actually give this a little bit of a pennant over here, a little bit of a descending wedge, because it does look like it is forming a descending wedge pattern. Look at if it could break through that descending wedge, that would be awesome, because guess what? Right there, that would be great. Right? That's how it would curl. So I'm going to go off on a limb and say right now that it is a descending wedge pattern right here. So if it can break above the descending wedge, then it can become somewhat schmexy to nya. Otherwise, it's going to be meh. But right now, as of now, it ran up a nice 106%. 106% has unconfirmed Q4 earnings due in 14 days for the stock. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on right there. So let's take a look and see if there's any other news for the stock. Is there any other news for the stock? Let's see. This is December 12th. It says here that exchange compliance has been restored by YCBD. So their shares rose in after-hours trading on Thursday, climbing to 98 cents after the company announced it had regained full compliance with the New York Stock Exchange American listing standards. So that's what it's got going on right there. So it has an exchange compliance restored, all right? Balance sheet restructuring, all right? The trading metrics, etc., etc., etc. That is pretty much why it is moving right now. It has just regained compliance, which is great news for them. That means that they are not going to be removed. Hooray! Let's go. Let's go with that, man. That's good. That's a good thing right there. That is a good thing. YCBD has regained compliance, so that is great news. Needs to break the descending wedge for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. YCBD has broken. Oh, let me just take this off a caps lock. YCBD has broken. It needs to break. It needs to break the descending wedge. All right. But it has some great news. That is some great news for YCBD. Hopefully, this stock can continue to go up some more, right? And it's just like pulling back a little bit because it is a bit overbought on the RSI. It is a bit overbought on the RSI, so you see that right there. A little bit of it is double topping. Oh, it's double topping.
Yeah, YCBD.
Yeah. It is double top.
On the 1 minute.
1 minute. 1 minute. Let's see. Oh, yep. I see it. That's a shame. That's a shame. All right. Well, it is double topping a little bit on the 1 minute, on the 1 minute right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh well. It'd be like that. It'd be like that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at another stock right here. It had a nice run while it lasted. KPLT. Let's take a look at KPLT right there. KPLT. Let's zoom out a little bit. Ooh, okay. So KPLT, as of now, not looking too schmexy. It fell below the VWAP. Not looking too good right there. Not looking too interesting for me right there. So right now, it has to break this little downtrend right over here for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. It has to break the downtrend right there. Let me make this yellow right here, and let me make this bigger right here. So KPLT needs to break the downtrend for it to be somewhat schmexy to me, and also needs to break that VWAP. So it's going to need to break that downtrend first, break the VWAP next. JZXN just popped in, so let's take a look at JZXN up. It said here 89%, and it did shoot up 89%, but then it just started to fall over here. Looks like it's forming a bit of a shoulder right here. A head all the way over here, all right? And then another shoulder all the way down here below VWAP. Not looking too schmexy as of now. Oh, just shot up like a rocket just now. Okay. That's interesting. It's very sporadic from what I could tell. Very sporadic stock. Has a float of 50 million, volume of 6 million, and it is shooting up like that. So I don't trust this stock. Me personally, I do not trust this. I don't trust this stock at all. So it'd be like that. But as of now, it did shoot up. I will give it credit. It shot up, but it is very, very sporadic. Not something that I personally would be looking into. Has some unconfirmed H1 earnings due in 11 days from now on December 23rd during the market open, and it just went back down. So, yeah, it's very sporadic to me. It's very choppy, very sporadic. Not looking too schmexy to me, so I'm just going to say JZXN. Sporadic movement. Sporadic movement, not feeling it, not looking schmexy. NCI, let's take a look at NCI. NCI fell below the VWAP right now. Again, not a lot of volume for the stunk either. A lot of barcoding, it looks like, over here. A lot of barcoding, and it does have that same type of sporadic thing going on where it's just shooting up like a rocket, and then it's going to go back down, and not looking schmexy to me. So just shot up on some very low volume, but not schmexy. Not schmexy. See, it went back down. So NCI, sporadic movement. Shot up on low volume. Shot up on low volume. Not looking schmexy there. Not looking schmexy to me. Let's take a look at something else here. Let's take a look at another stock here. Let's take a look at AKAN. Let's take a look at AKAN. All right, AKAN fell below the VWAP as of now. Also below, also down here. Boop. Needs to break that downtrend right there and also needs to break that VWAP. All right. AKAN has news that shares of cannabis-linked stocks are trading higher following reports suggesting that President Trump is expected to reclassify marijuana as a Schedule III drug. H1 earnings are unconfirmed. Also has some unconfirmed H1 earnings due in 11 days for December 23rd during market hours. So it's got that going on right there. Pineapple says, have you checked PAVS? I will check it. I'll check it out right now. Let me just put this over here and then I will get right on that, brother. Let's do that. All right, so let's put this over here. AKAN needs to break the VWAPA and the downtrend over here. All right, let's take a look at that PAVS. PAVS, it shot up a little bit earlier. Let's see how it's doing right now. All right, PAVS currently curling its way on up. It is 5 cents right now. Currently, it is up 40%. 40%. And Jose, thank you for reposting the stream, brother. Thank you. Much love, man. Much love. Let's get a share party going, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to 200. Let's get to 200, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to 200 right here. Let's get to 200. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. All right, let's get it. All right, so as of now, PAVS is having a nice move upward right here. Up 42%. Let's see how the float and volume is doing with it. PAVS has a 67 million float. Volume is 264 million. So it's got that going on right there. That is a lot of volume for the stock. So that is pretty good. PAVS has good volume. The float is a little bit heavy in my opinion, but I can live with it because the volume is a lot higher than that of the float. So we'll see what happens here. But right now, PAVS is moving upward pretty much. Needs to remain friends with the trend for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. But right now, it also has to stay above that VWAP too. Has to stay above the VWAP. Has to remain friends with the trend. Let's get some support resistance lines on this baby right here. Yes, sir. All right, let's get it. And right here, bop. And bop right there. Let me make these a bit thicker. All right, let me make the numbers a bit bigger. All right, maybe a little bit bigger here. Bop right there. That'll work. All right, so as of now, it's testing the high. Ooh, it broke through the high. Broke through the high right there. Broke through the high. PAVS is moving upward right now. So it is moving upward nicely now. It is moving upward very, very nicely here. So PAVS is doing its thing. Pineapple, thank you for reposting the stream. Thank you. All right, so. Oh, and also Priya, thank you for following on the Facebook. Thank you. Thank you for that. All right. So PAVS currently holding above the VWAP right now. Has to stay above that VWAP. Has a bit of a red candle over here. A little red one. Not looking too schmexy with that red candle. Come on now. Needs to curl up and make a green one. But has to hold above this area of the 5 cent mark. And has to break through this area, the 5 cent mark right over here. Has to break through this top area and hold above this bottom area, which is the red line over here, and has to hold above the gray line over here. I would say has to hold above 5 cents and break through 5 cents. So that's what it has to do right there for it to continue to be schmexy, and it looks like it's doing exactly that right now. It is climbing its way still upward right now. PAVS looking schmexy right now. Looking schmexy. PAVS on the uptrend right now. PAVS on the uptrend. On the uptrend. Just shooting its way on up right now. All right, kind of fell back down, though, a little bit because it is a bit overbought on the RSI. It is a little bit overbought on the RSI. So we'll see what happens with this stock. We shall see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see what happens. We shall see what happens. All right, so we shall see here. Oh, it's falling back down, though. It is falling back down. It is a bit overbought in the RSI, so it looks like it's moving back down to kind of compensate for that. So we'll see what happens there. But right now, it is falling down now. Falling down. So, not looking schmexy with that. Kind of just did a bit of droppage there. Not looking too schmexy there. Needs to break back above that VWAP. Has to break above that VWAP for it to be so much schmexy to me. PAVS needs to break the VWAP for it to be so much schmexy to me, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it's got going on right there. That is what we got going on. All right, let's see. Let's see what else we got going on over here. Let's take a look at MSOX and then AKAN. MSOX. MSOX, very choppy. Very choppy right now. Curled up just a tiny bit. A little bit. But it's still, the 9 EMA is a bit further away from the VWAP than I would like it to be. Also, it is very, very extended as of now. So, I mean, right now it's not overbought in the RSI, but the 9 EMA is very much so extended from the VWAP. It is above the VWAP right now. It did move up a little bit, but needs more volume. So MSOX needs more volume for it to be so much schmexy to me with those movements right there. MSOX needs volume to remain above the VWAP and move upward. CNBS just came in. CNBS, let's see how CNBS is doing. How's CNBS doing? Okay, a lot of choppy tails over here, a lot of choppiness over here, a lot of indecisive wicks, not a lot of volume currently. Amplify Seymour Cannabis, another cannabis stock, is moving up, but this stock has a lot of indecisive wicks as of now. A lot of indecisive wicks here. So, not looking too schmexy in terms of that right there. Not looking too schmexy in terms of that right there. All right. All right. So, give me 1 second. 1 second. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we got going on so far, ladies and gents. That is what we got going on. So right now, we are basically just chilling here. CNBS, not a lot of volume, needs more volume for it to be so much schmexy to me. Let's take a look at the float. No float here so far, but we do have the volume, 4.31. That is what we got going on for volume. So, not looking too schmexy in terms of that volume. So, again, it needs volume, this stock. CNBS, it's another cannabis stock. A lot of these cannabis stocks have been moving because of that thing that Trump's been doing. So, we got that going on with this stock right here. He's been making marijuana a Schedule 3 drug. So, that's what we got going on right there. CNBS currently needs volume. Needs volume to become somewhat schmexy to mya. To become somewhat schmexy to mya. Let's see what we got here. Let's take a look at some requests here. Let's take a look at some requests. We got a couple of them. Hold on. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. All right. Let's see here. 1 second. All right, let's go here. And let's take a look at those requests. There we are. All right, so as of now, let's see here. Somebody requested IMCC. Let's take a look at IMCC. IMCC. Let's see how IMCC is doing. Wait, YCBD is moving up. YCBD is moving up. Hold on. YCBD just shot up like a rocket. 123%. 123% broke the little descending triangle that I had going on there, man. Broke that right there. Yes, sir. There we go. Broke the little descending wedge I had. Now up 125%. Let's go, baby. There we are. Called that. Called that, baby. Called that. Yes, sir. YCBD. YCBD. Curling upwards right now. Up 125%. New high of day. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ooh, yes. New high of day. There we go. There we go. YCBD looking schmexy, ladies and gentlemen. Up now it's going back down a little bit, but it did have that nice run up 125% right there. 125%. There we go. It curled its way on up. Curled its way on up 125. That was good. That was good, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see here. Well, while that's doing its thing, while YCBD is doing its thing with its 9 million float, 80 million volume, let's take a look at another stock here. KPLT. Somebody requested KPLT. Let's take a look at KPLT. Let's see. KPLT. KPLT, as of now, still on a bit of a downtrend here. Still on a bit of a downtrend. Needs to break above this downtrend and needs to break above this VWAP for it to really be so much mexy to Mya. As of now, it kind of fell down. So we'll see what happens here. We shall see what happens. But as of now, it's kind of just falling right there. So needs to break that little area. Needs to break that little downtrend right there, and then needs to break above the VWAPA for it to be so much mexy to Mya. Let's get a share party going, by the way. Let's get to 400. Let's get to 400, ladies and gentlemen. Come on now. Let's get to 400. Let's get to 400, 400, 400. Let's go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's get to 400. All right. So, as of now, KPLT is below the VWAPA. It is below the VWAPA, so has to break above that downtrend and needs to break above the VWAP for it to be so much mexy to me. KPLT needs to break the VWAP and the downtrend for it to be so much mexy to Mya. Bop right there. All right, let's see what else we got. IMCC, someone requested IMCC. Let's take a look at that. IMCC not looking too schmexy to me because it doesn't have much volume. You know what I mean? So that's what we got going on there. Shares of cannabis-linked stocks are trading higher following a report suggesting that President Trump is expected to reclassify marijuana as a Schedule III drug. These guys have the same thing. This is IM Cannabis Corp, IMCC. So IMCC looks like it's curling above the VWAP as of now, but it doesn't look like it has much in terms of volume. Let's take a look at the float and volume. Float is 4.020 million. 420, I get it now. But the float is 4.02 million. Volume is 381,000. So not looking too schmexy as of now in terms of volume. Very choppy, very indecisive. It is above the VWAP, but it is choppy and indecisive. So very choppy there. So IMCC needs volume. Very choppy. And with indecisive wicks. With indecisive wicks. Right there. All right. So IMCC needs some volume. Has a lot of indecisive wicks. Very choppy. Not a lot of volume there. Let's say about CCCX. Somebody requested CCCX. Let's take a look. CCCX doesn't have much in terms of volume either. Not a lot of volume. Very, very low in the volume department there. Very low in that volume department. So we'll see what happens there, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see what happens. Not looking schmexy. CCCX not looking schmexy to Mya. Let's take a look over here. CCCX. Churchill Capital Corp X. All right. CCCX. Very low volume. Lots of indecisive wicks. Again, a lot of indecisive wicks with this one. Needs to break the VWAP too. Needs to break VWAP. But yeah, I highly doubt it will with all that low volume. I'm just saying that one right there, not looking too schmexy to me. Just saying. So let's take a look at some other stonks here. What other stonks do we have? Let's take a look back at YCBD. YCBD. Let's take a look at YCBD again. YCBD. All right. YCBD currently up 106% right now. 106%. Again, had a nice move up to 125%. Let's get this over here. Let's get this over. Yeah. Bop. Right there. All right. All right. There we go. So, as of now with the stunk, YCBD needs to break this little pennant that's formed right over here for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya, but it needs to break that pennant right there. YCBD needs to break the little pennant that it just formed. YCBD, leading gainer, it needs to break the pennant it formed right there. So it needs to break that pennant right there. Has some unconfirmed Q4 earnings due in 14 days on December 26th after the market is to close. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on for this stunk. That is what we got going on. So we'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see what happens. You know what I mean? We shall see. We shall see. All right. So as of now, YCBD is trying to curl its way on up right there. Is trying to curl its way on up, but needs to break through that pennant for it to really do that right there. So that's what we got going on, folks. That is what we got going on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So let's take a look over here. Let's take a look. See what we got going on. All right, so we got YCBD. Actually, you know what? I'm going to give it some support and resistance lines. That's what I wanted to do with it. I wanted to give it some support and resistance. You know what I mean? A little bit of support and resistance. So let's get that going on right there. Boom, right there, because it is still moving generally up. So it is still moving in an upward trajectory still somewhat. It is above the VWAP as well. All right, 9 EMA is a little bit separated from the VWAP, you know, but it is doing its thing right now. Not overbought, oversold as of now. Was a bit overbought earlier in the day, and there were points where it was oversold too, but man, nothing really crazy. So let's take a look over here. Let's get support and resistance right over here. Boom, right there. So let's see. First things first, we got support lines at 60 cents, 78, 92 cents right there. $1, 2 cents, 112, and 124, all of which are support lines. Then you have resistance at 144. So has to hold that 124 mark, break through that 144 mark for it to really be schmexy to mya. Otherwise, you know how it goes, ladies and gentlemen. Needs to break that pennant right there for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. Ooh. Just had to stretch the back right there. Oh, that's the good stuff. That was the good stuff right there. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see what we got going on. All right, so let's take a look at NCI. Someone requested NCI. Let's take a look at it. How's NCI doing? All right, NCI still very choppy. Still very, very choppy right here. Not a lot of volume. Has a lot of that stuff going in. Pineapple says, "Hey, want to plug PAVS for me again?" Yeah, man, of course. We're going to take a look at PAVS, man. We're going to take a look at PAVS. I'm going to take a look at PAVS. I'm going to take a look at that. But right now, because it did have some nice movement, PAVS. It did have a nice movement upward, but then it kind of started going down. So we're going to see what happens here. So NCI, as of now, I mean, I'm not plugging PAVS, but let's see. All right, NCI, as of now, needs to break above this little line over here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to draw a longer line. As a matter of fact, I'm going to draw one right over mya. Right there. That's the blue one. All right. Has to break above this green line over here that I'm going to form. Bop right there. You see that? Has to break above that green line for it to be so much mexy to mya. All right. Has another a green line that I'm going to put right over mya. All right. little bit. Actually, it just broke through that. So right now, actually, no, I'm going to just draw some support and resistance lines right here. Just going to draw some support and resistance. There we go. Bop right there and bop right there. So as of now, this stunk has to break the 163 mark, has to break the 168 mark, has to break 181, 193, the VWAP, which is also at 192, and then to top it off, 205, 220, and 245. So NCI has a ways to go, and it needs some serious volume for it to be so much Mexi to Mya. NCI needs some serious volume for it to be so much Mexi to Mya. All right. Let's see what else we got. NCI needs volume, ladies and gentlemen. Needs some volume. All right. So YCBD looks like it's trying to curl up. Hold on. YCBD, 1 second. We'll take a look at this. YCBD is slowly curling up right now. YCBD slowly curling its way on up. All right. Looks like it has a bit of a point of resistance right here. Let me just put this right over there, bot right there, and it's going to be right there for me. So we got that going on. Has to break above that little tiny resistance right over here at 137. Has to break through 137 and then break through that 144 area. So YCBD curling off the pennant right now. YCBD curling off that pennant. Curling off the pennant right there. So we're going to curl it off that pennant right there. That's what it needs to do right there. It looks like it is. It looks like it's climbing. Oh my, 121% right there. 121. It's testing the high again. Testing the high. PAVS testing that high. 138. Oh, it's trying. It's trying to test that high. It is trying to test that high. Yeah, it's trying to test that high, man. It is. It broke through that little resistance temporarily, and it's trying to just test that high right now. YCBD trying to test the high of day. Can it break? And I know as soon as I turn my back, this stock's going to start going cuckoo. Let's see. All right. In the meantime, I'm going to take a look at PAVS for pineapple here. Let's take a look at PAVS. So as of now, PAVS did have that nice movement upward, but it then fell below the VWAP, curled above it temporarily, and then went back down. So we're going to see what happens here with the stunk right here. Bop right there. All right. And then let's take a look over here. Bop right here. All right. Has a bit of a pennant forming right over here. Has to break above this green 5-cent line over here. Then break through the yellow 5-cent line, then the red one, and then the gray one over here for it to be so much Mexi to Mya. But as of now, needs to break this pennant right here. PAVS. As of now, let's take a look and see what type of volume it has and what type of float it has. The float is a bit heavy at 66.7 million. And the volume is 314.6 million. So the volume is a lot higher than the float. That's good. That's very good. Let's see if it has any news. PAVS doesn't have news. Doesn't have any news that came out since the 5th. The 5th had reported on the 5th, PAVS reported financial growth in 2025 and stated that their shares were trading higher after the company reported a year-over-year increase in their H1 preliminary revenue results. But that was again December 5th. That was how long? About 7, 10, 12, yeah, 7 days ago. So it was about a week ago that occurred. So right now, it doesn't have any fresh news, not any real fresh catalysts right now, but it needs to curl above that pennant and needs to break that VWAP for it to be so much Mexi to me. Has to do that for it to be so much Mexi to me. But otherwise, right now. So we're going to see what happens. We'll see what happens with PAVS. It did have a nice movement upward, but it needs to break this pennant right over here, break above this pennant right here, and break above the VWAP for it to really be so much Mexi to me. Let's get a share party going. Let's get to 800. Let's get to 800, ladies and gentlemen. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check out our 4-day trial for our real-time alerts and scanners for only $9.99. Link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We are just made different, And the early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loot, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you, the cash. Yes. So, also, ladies and gentlemen, you can check us out on our beautiful, beautiful scanner over here, which you will gain access to by basically by clicking on that 4-day trial. You get access to the amazing, beautiful market mover scanner over here with hyperlinks to each and every stock that is currently being looked at by the scanner right now. And to top it off, you get the percentage change, whether the stock is moving up or down, the ticker, price, volume, float. You click on the links, you get the same thing, plus you'll get the actual chart, you will get the news, you get everything pertaining to the stock that you clicked on over here. And to top it off, you get access to the newsroom over here. Wonderful, amazing, beautiful research tool right there. So basically what you do with it is you basically click on the hyperlinks that are right over here, and you can get the full article, or you could read a preview of the article that is normally right below it right here, right? And it also has other little hyperlinks as well, such as hyperlinks to the tickers that are affected by the news within said article. And you could actually get all the news for those tickers. You could get the float, stock, price, volume, all that good stuff, the change in percentage, the chart, whether it's going up or down, etc. You'll get all that stuff by clicking on those little hyperlinks in there as well. And to top it off, you get access to a wonderful educational and supportive community. A lot of educational stuff goes on here. A lot of educational stuff goes on in the private Discord as well. So be sure to check that out, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to check that out. Click that link to get that 4-day trial for the real-time alerts and scanners, ladies and gentlemen. Click it good. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. PAVS right now needs to break through the pennant and the VWAPA for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Let's get a share party. Let's get to that 800. Let's get to 800, ladies and gentlemen. 800, 800, 800. Let's get it. All right. So let's see what goes on here. So now we got PAVS going on over here. Has to break above those 5-cent lines over there. So let's see what else we got. What else do we have? What else do we have here? ASST. Let's take a look at ASST. ASST is a crowd favorite. Let's take a look at ASST. ASST, very, very choppy. Needs to break the VWAP as well. So ASST choppy and needs to break that VWAP. ASST choppy and needs volume to break the VWAPA and the choppiness there as well. So ASST, got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. And right there, bing. All right, so that's what we're doing right now. Currently, we are just chilling right now. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see. All right, so as of now, ASST needs that volume. It needs volume to really make itself seem so much schmexy to me. Let's take a look at Open, OPEN, Open. Let's take a look at that one. Another crowd favorite that has been requested of me many a time. So I'm just going to put it up here for y'all because, you know, I love y'all and I want you guys to be happy, happy, happy. So let's take a look over here. Currently, this stock is also on a bit of a downtrend here. I'd even go so far as to say maybe if I want to be enthusiastic, a pennant. So I'd say over here, like a little bit of a pennant, but it needs some volume. Not a lot of volume here. It is very, very choppy. A lot of barcoding going on over here. Has to break through this little channel time. It's channel time right there. So let's get that right there. Bop, right there. Boom. All right, has to break through this channel over here. Actually, no, it has to break through this channel right over here for it to be so much schmexy to me. So, because Open needs to actually get some volume going through it for it to be so much schmexy to me. Let's take a look here. Open, OPEN needs to break the channel and gain volume to break the VWAPA and pennant. Has to do that, ladies and gentlemen. It needs to do that to be so much schmexy to me. But right now, has to break this channel, has to break that VWAP, has to break this pennant. Needs to do all that stuff for it to be so much schmexy to me. Otherwise, not looking too schmexy. Not looking schmexy to me. All right. Let's take a look at what else What else we got? What else we got? Someone requested RR. Let's take a look at RR. RR not looking too schmexy right now. I mean, it does have a bit of an uptrend. I will say that, but it's an uptrend on some very low volume. So, as of now, with this stock right over here, all right, we're going to say, yeah, it's going up right here a little bit. Needs to break this pennant maybe, but it does have some low volume to it. Let's take a look over here. Up 1%, not really schmexy to me. Float is 157.3 million. Volume is 614.8 thousand. So, not schmexy to me. It's moving on low volume, very low volume. Needs to break that pennant right there. RR needs to break the pennant and needs to break that pennant, ladies and gentlemen. Needs to break that pennant right there. Needs to break that pennant and get a lot of volume. A lot of volume. That needs a lot of volume, in my opinion. For it to be so much schmexy to me, it is a bit overbought on the RSI. Not looking schmexy. Not looking schmexy. So, we got that going on right there. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get to 1,000. Let's get to 1,000. Let's get a share party going. Let's get to 1,000. 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look. Someone requested SOFI. SOFI. SOFI trash. All right. Let's take a look at SOFI. It is very indecisive. Not looking too schmexy right now. Very much so below the VWAP. And continues to remain below the VWAP. Even the 9 EMA is below the VWAP right over here. And to top it off, it is a bit, it's leaning towards being oversold in the RSI, but it's pretty much just indecisive right now in the RSI. It's indifferent, you know what I mean? So, SOFI down 0.18%. Not looking too schmexy there. SOFI, let's take a look. Low volume. Needs to break the VWAP. Low volume needs to break that VWAP. And yeah, it's got a lot of low volume there. So we'll see what happens. Let's take a look at KPLT. Somebody requested KPLT. KPLT. All right, KPLT fell downward and then proceeded to try and climb its way back up, but formed a bit of a double top right over here. Take a look at that right there. Still below the VWAP as of now as well. So we got that going on. Did curl up a little bit, but then formed a bit of a double top. Fell back down a little bit. So we're going to see what happens with this stock. Can we see what happens with this stock? It is currently up 30% right now. 30%. Does it have any news? Does KPLT have any news? Oh, yes, it does have some news. Okay, so KPLT, the Aaron's Company, and CCF Holdings are to combine in all stock transactions. So these guys are basically going to create the omni-channel financial and retail platform for non-prime consumers right there. And they're basically going to have that all-stock deal going on right there. It's going to be an all-stock merger. So KPLT has that type of news going on. It's a merger play. That's what it's got going on. Let's take a look at the float. Float is 3.2 million. Volume is 8.5 million. So the volume is higher than the float. So that's good. That's a good look. Good look right there. But it does need to break above this pennant for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. And it looks like it did. It broke through this little resistance line over here. Has to break the VWAP. But it looks like KPLT is trying to test it right now. Let's see what goes on with it. KPLT testing the VWAP as of now. So we'll see what happens. It is currently testing its VWAP. Can it break through? It looks like it's trying to. It looks like it wants to. It looks like it really wants to right now. So we'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see what happens. We shall see. We shall see. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So, as of now, KPLT trying to curl above that VWAP. Looks like it's testing it. It's testing it. It's not there yet. It's trying to peek its head above. Can it do it? Can it do it? Come on. It's a lot of resistance at 845, which is right where the VWAP is. Yep, broke through. Temporarily broke through. It peaked its head above the VWAP there. Peaked its head above the VWAP. That's good. That's very good. I like that. I like that. KPLT peaking its head above the VWAP. As of now, KPLT is above the VWAP, climbing slowly but surely, climbing its way on up. Yes, sir. There we go. There we go. KPLT moving its way on up right now. Boom. Catapult Holdings Inc. All right. Climbing its way on up right now, slowly but surely. KPLT is climbing, ladies and gentlemen, but then formed another double top right there. KPLT needs to remain friends with the uptrend for it to be somewhat schmexy to meow. Yes, sir. Let's get a share party going. Let's get to 1100. 1100, ladies and gentlemen. Come on now. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check out our 4-day trial for our real-time alerts and scanners for only $9.99. Link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We are just made different, and the early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loot, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you. Yes, sir. So, that's what we got going on right there. That is what we got going on. All right. Currently, KPLT is trying to stay above the uptrend. All right. It's doing its thing right there. Doing its thing. Let's see. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. All right. All right. All right. So, as of now, KPLT still doing its thing right there. All right. Let's see here. Let's see. All right. So, as of now, KPLT is trying to climb its way on up. Trying to slowly climb its way on up right here. It is trying slowly but surely. It is making its move to try and climb above this little uptrend right here. Up 40% right now. Up 40%. So we're just keeping an eye on it right here. We're just keeping an eye. Had a nice little uptrend a couple of times right here. Looks like it's kind of sort of forming a bit of a pennant right over meow. Right over meow. Not this thing. This right here. Boom. Can it break through this descending wedge right here? Can it break through? Let's see what happens. KPLT needs to break through that little descending wedge for it to be somewhat schmexy to meow. KPLT needs to break the descending wedge here. All right, for it to be somewhat schmexy to meow. There we go. There we go. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. As of now, KPLT trying to break above this VWAP. Excuse me, not VWAP, this little descending wedge right here. Not looking too schmexy. Let's take a look at something else here. Let's see what other stonks we got going on. What are the stonks? Somebody requested SERV. Let's take a look at SERV. SERV, very choppy. Not looking too schmexy as of now. A lot of indecisive wicks below the VWAP. Not looking too schmexy. So, SERV, SERV, SERV. Choppy. Low volume. Needs to break the VWAP. Yes, choppy, low volume, needs to break the VWAP. Needs to do that for it to be somewhat schmexy to meow. And I think YCBD got halted. Let me see how YCBD is doing. Let's check in. How you doing, buddy? YCBD still holding above that little line of support and fell below it. So, man, and not looking too schmexy to meow as of now. Not looking too schmexy to mya, right? Has to break above the 124 mark and break above 144. Can it curl? YCBD needs volume to curl back up. So we're going to say that YCBD needs volume to curl back up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to grab some water real quick. I'll be right back. I will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Give me 1 second. 1 second. All right, I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back. Let's get a share party going. Let's get the 13 Hyundai. Let's get the 13 Hyundai right there. All right, let's take a look at some stonks here. Let's take a look, see what else we got going on right there. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, what you guys got planned for this weekend, man? What you guys got planned? Me personally, I got some stuff planned for this weekend, man. I'm gonna spend some time with the family, right? I'm gonna spend some time with the family, spend some time with some friends. Chill out, maybe depending on actually, you know what? I'm kind of curious. What's the weather going to be like for this weekend? What's the weather going to be like? Let's see. What's the weather going to be like for this weekend? Hmm. Let's see. All right, going to be partly cloudy. Going to be partly cloudy. That's fine. Dude, that is fine. That means either A, I get to go outside and just chill out with the family, or B, I get to sit around inside and chill out with a book. I actually been reading an interesting one, by the way. Very interesting book, ladies and gentlemen. Very interesting book. Right? Since we're waiting for the stonks, and we're keeping an eye on the stonks, I actually was reading a very interesting book, like one of those how do I put it? It was like it was an interesting book, very interesting. I decided to read it. A friend of mine recommended it to me. It was called uh Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment. Good book. It was amazing. I finished reading it today. Very good book. It was like one of those very interesting books. It's called Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment. Dostoevsky?
Yeah.
Yeah, Crime and Punishment. I finished reading that book. Amazing book. Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment right there. I can't pronounce his name for the life of me though. But it was a very good book when I read it. Very good, interesting book. Very good, interesting book. Liked reading it. I had a good time on it. It was like one of those like moral dilemma books, and it was like really cool to read. It was a really cool read. It was recommended to me by a friend, and it was pretty good. And I'm pretty sure it was actually written in 1866. Apparently, that was the year that it was written. So yeah, yeah, that was actually a very interesting book, and yeah, it was one of those philosophical dilemma books type of deal. I was reading that. I've been reading a lot of Warhammer stuff, because I'm a big fan of that stuff. It's so cool. It's like a Dungeons and Dragons, if Dungeons and Dragons and Halo had like a beautiful baby. You know what I mean? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful show there. Beautiful thing there. So yeah, been doing a lot of that. Reading the Halo books too, rereading those, having a good time with that, playing a lot of video games with friends. Been playing Battlefield 6, by the way. RedSec looks amazing. And I've been playing a lot of that. Playing a lot of that, especially the new Winter Offensive update that came out on December 9th, which has been keeping me preoccupied for a while. And the new GTA update. Been doing a lot of that too. GTA is so much fun. Such a fun game. GTA 5 has been a banger since 2013. I'm just saying. It has now been... Did you know that game is now 12 years old? Jeez. Wow. Apparently they're coming out with GTA 6 next year too. So I'm excited for that, man. I'm excited for all that, man. I'm just going to be chilling, doing my thing, relaxing, all cool. You know what I mean? And I actually recently completed the new missions where you actually get to see Michael, who's one of the protagonists from GTA 5, the regular game. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. Got to see Michael, got to, take down the bad guys. It was so cool. It was really, really cool. And you have like a guy who's like kind of like one of the big bads, you know what I mean? He's like one of the big bads of the story. And he pops in a little bit, says hello, then says goodbye, even though you kind of just bought the mansion, and this guy's just randomly chilling in it for no reason, and you're like, how did you get in? Why are you here? This is my mansion. Get out. What? Leave. So yeah, one of the big bads is like there. He's like, now that would be a dream team. Yes, yes. It was so... I'm just sitting there like, is this man just sitting here in a Speedo right now after using my pool? And they're just saying, oh yeah, you just break into my house. It was great. It was amazing. I loved it. Had a great time with it. And I look forward to more of the GTA Online updates because those are really, really fun. So, can't wait for that. Can't wait for GTA 6. It's gonna be a blast, man. I got a lot of stuff that I'm looking forward to, man. A lot of stuff I've just been looking forward to, man. It's gonna be fun. But what do you guys got planned for this weekend? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Put it in the chat. We're just waiting for some stonks right now. Just keeping an eye on some stonks here. Just keeping an eye right now. Just chilling and seeing what comes up. We're going to see what goes on. Let's see. Let's see over here. Somebody requested IREN. IREN. Let's take a look at IREN. Let's see how IREN is doing. Hold on. Get that out of there. Bop right there. All right. IREN. IREN. So currently IREN is below the VWAP, very much so below the VWAP. A lot of indecisive wicks, very heavy in terms of price. Chances are good also in terms of float. Yep, float is 272.1 million. The volume is 480.5 thousand. So as of now, this stock is down 1%, not looking too schmexy. Fell below the VWAP right here, and currently needs to break above this VWAP for it to be somewhat schmexy to me, but also needs a lot of volume, a lot of indecisive wicks, very heavy float, very low volume, not looking schmexy there. IREN needs a lot of volume. IREN needs a lot of volume to break the VWAP and curl. It needs a lot of that. It's going to need a lot of volume because there is not a lot of volume for this very choppy, very, very choppy stonk. Not looking too schmexy right there. Not looking schmexy to me. Let's take a look at KPLT. KPLT. How's KPLT doing? Let's see. So, as of now, KPLT just shot up nicely. Shot up nicely off that little indecisive, that little descending wedge that I just created there. Right? Shot up very nicely. Had a nice movement over here, ladies and gents. Had a nice movement over here. bop right there, and then created another pennant right over here. So now has to break this pennant right here for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. So let me actually draw like a little circle. I can apparently do that, so it has to break this pennant right over mya for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. You know what I mean? Has to break this pennant right here. So that's what we got going on, folks. That is what we got going on. Needs to break that pennant for it to continue to be schmexy to mya. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let's see what it does, man. Let's see what it does. KPLT needs to break that pennant. Let's see. KPLT need nice uptrend needs to break the pennant for mya. Yeesh. Also, ladies and gentlemen, another wonderful little bit of shows that I've been looking into watching as well. There's actually a new show that Coach has actually let me know about. What was that show called, Coach? The Last Ship. Sounds like a very interesting show, not gonna lie. I don't know what it's about yet fully, but I look forward to it because I know you gave me somewhat of a synopsis about it, but it is one of those shows that it seems like it's very, very thrilling. It's like it's apparently it's like similar to SEAL Team. I watched SEAL Team and the Terminal List. SEAL Team was amazing. 10 out of 10 was actually made by a guy who was formerly in Delta Force, and he did have a advisor who was a Navy SEAL. So it was an excellent show. Apparently, it touched upon some very, very interesting things that surround the veteran community and also surround the community when it comes to just regular people and war and all those other immoral things like that. It touched upon a lot of interesting stuff in that show. And to top it off, I watched The Terminal List. The Terminal List was amazing. Have not seen season 2 yet. I have yet to see it. One of my friends is like, "Oh yeah, I want to see it. I want to watch it with you, man. I want to watch it with you." I'm like, "Okay, fine. We're gonna watch it, all right." And then just when it's time to watch it, he's like, "Oh, sorry, man. I got plans. I have plans with my girlfriend. They got plans with my friends." And I'm like, "Boy, you said you were gonna watch this with me. I've been waiting. I'm about to just watch that by my. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna wait for him. I'm just gonna watch that by myself, truthfully, because it looks dope. It's a prequel to the first season, by the way. The second season. The first season was amazing. I watched it with some friends. A couple of them actually legitimately, like towards the end, it was such a great story that some friends of mine actually like cried a little bit because they were watching. It was amazing. It was amazing. The ending was. Whew, I'm not gonna spoil it. I don't want to spoil it. Check it out for yourselves. Great show. Okay, great show. All right. The Last Ship though sounds like it's intense. I can't wait to see it. So I got a lot of stuff I'm looking forward to, man. You know what it is, man. I'm just vibing right now with life. You know what I mean? You just gotta vibe a little bit. Find the things that are fun. Find the things that make you happy, and just enjoy them. Look forward to more stuff. Find things to look forward to. Just keep looking forward to it, man, and keep on grinding. Keep on grinding, ladies and gentlemen. Always gotta keep on the grind. All right. Me right now, I'm chilling right now, talking about the shows and stuff like that and all that good stuff. But you know what I mean? I'm also having a fun time with you guys because I love you guys. You guys are amazing. You're fun. Without you guys, none of this would be possible. So, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. And also, ladies and gentlemen, yeah. I mean, we're chilling right now. We are chilling, doing our thing here. All right. So as of now, KPLT, it seems to be falling below that little tiny pennant right there. So I'm going to see about this pennant right here. Let's see about this right here. Bop right there. And there we go. And it was Dostoevsky. Dostoevsky. That was his name. There. Dostoevsky? Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment. That's the one. That was his name. Yes! I got it. Yes! 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 Yes, sir. Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment. Great book. 10 out of 10. It was absolute cinema in book form, but it was absolute cinema to me. It was amazing. It was one of those books, if you like the murder mystery type, well, not even murder mystery. It's not even murder mystery. It's like a dilemma, moral dilemma that the main character ends up facing. The main character does a bad thing, and then he kind of has to like face the moral dilemma of the bad thing that he did. So it's one of those books that is very gripping. I read it. I had a good time reading it. And yeah, it was just fantastic. Dostoevsky did amazing. And by the way, it's time for the bell. The bell. It deafens me. Yeah. Okay. All right. So as of now, we got the bell making the ringy dingy. It make the wee woo. KPLT though went down, not looking schmexy there. So it had its time in the sun. Not looking schmexy. Gonna move on to something else. Truthfully. Gonna move on to something else right here. Let's take a look at QH. Let's see how QH is doing. Yep, QH needs a lot of volume. Not too schmexy to mya. All right, QH right here needs volume to... All right. I mean, it did have a nice little uptrend there, but it moved up on some very low volume. So indecisive wicks need volume for it to be so much schmexy to mya. Not looking schmexy there, QH. Let's take a look at ZDGE. ZDGE, let's see how ZDGE just did right there. ZDGE has a 10 million float, 258,000 volume, indecisive, choppy, not looking too schmexy to me. Has a bit of a double top right over mya. Not looking good there, but it does have some news that Zedge shares are trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q1 financial results. Has a conference call scheduled for today at 11 a.m. and the Q1 earnings were confirmed released before the market opened, but it looks like it is trying to move its way on up slightly on that low volume. Let's take a look here, because that float is 10 million. Volume is 258,000. So we'll see what happens with the stock. So ZDGE as of now needs some more volume. It is moving up on very low volume right now. So ZDGE, I'm rooting for you, little buddy, but you need volume. ZDGE needs more volume to become somewhat schmexy to mya. Needs more volume to become somewhat schmexy to mya. So, yeah. All right, currently, shooting up like a rocket. There we go. That's what I like to see. That is what I like to see. Again, needs more volume. It's moving up on low volume right now still. So we got to see what goes on here. ZDGE moving up on low volume. Let's see what goes on with it, ladies and gentlemen. ZDGE moving up on low volume. Needs to keep climbing, baby. Needs to keep climbing. Keep that climb going right there. It is moving it up, though. All right. It is moving up very nicely, but it needs to remain friends with the trend right here, and also needs that to keep moving up. It is moving up nicely, though. 38% right now. 38% has a bit of a heavy volume, a little bit of a heavy volume, but a little bit of a heavy float, but the volume is starting to slowly creep up a little bit. Again, though, needs more volume for it to be so much mixy to me. Alex Martinez says YCBD is the one. Let's take a look at YCBD. We'll take a look at it as soon as we finish with ZDGE. Currently climbing up some more. Wow. It's still climbing, baby. Still climbing, moving up on low volume here. ZDGE moving up on low volume, so we'll see what happens here. ZDGE moving up on low volume. Looking pretty good. Needs to break through that little area there. All right. Let's see here. All right. All right. So, as of now, that's what we got going on. ZDGE now kind of collapsing back down. Well, again, like I said, low volume. So, meh. Let's take a look at YCBD. YCBD, as of now, currently YCBD is moving its way on up, slowly but surely, climbing its way on upward now. It is back on an uptrend right now. Back on an uptrend. We'll see what goes on with it right now, but right now it's trying to climb. Had a bit of a double bottom all the way down here, and then bounced off that double bottom, climbed up all the way here, and is now kind of trying to curl its way up. So we'll see what goes on with YCBD. Bounced off the double bottom and broke the VWAP once again. YCBD broke the VWAP and bounced off the double bottom. There we go. So as of now, looking schmexy so far. Looking schmexy. There we go. All right. Let's see. Let's see here. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. What else we got? Let me add them. All right. RYM, YCBD went back down. RYM, let's take a look at RYM. All right, again, on an uptrend on some very low volume. A lot of indecisive wicks with this one as well. Not trusting it too much. Let's take a look at RYM. Has a 1 million float, which is actually reasonable. 23,000 volume. Not looking schmexy right now. Little bit heavy in terms of the float of the price itself, $22 and change, but as of now, it did have a bit of a move going on over there. So got that going on right there. All right, RYM needs volume. Very choppy. BEAT. BEAT, as of now, had a bit of an A to B, B to C, C to D, and then formed a bit of a descending wedgie. You know what I mean? So had that going on right there. A, B, C, D. A little bit of a descending wedge. Got that going on. Needs to break that little descending wedge right there for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. BEAT needs to break the descending wedge. Needs to break above the descending wedge to become somewhat schmexy to me. There we go. Let's get a share party going. Let's get to 1800. 1800, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to 1800, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get it. Come on now. All right. Let's get to 1800. 1800. Come on. ONDS is requested. Let's take a look. ONDS. And not looking too schmexy right now. Needs volume because it just shot up off of over the VWAP, but then pretty much just started sporadically moving. Needs to break a descending wedge down 0.55%. Not looking too schmexy. ONDS. All right. ONDS needs to break above the descending wedge. And even then, it fell below it. So, man, not looking schmexy there. Let's take a look at another stonk. Somebody requested ECDA. Let's see how ECDA is doing. Fell below the VWAP. ECDA fell below the VWAP. Very choppy. Fell below the VWAP. ECDA needs to break above the VWAP. needs to break above the VWAPA for it to be so much Mexi to me. Let's get a share party going. Let's get to 1900. 1900, ladies and gentlemen. Come on now. Come on now. Yes, sir. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Come on now. All right. Let's take a look at Open. 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 How's Open doing? Open is a fan favorite. Open had a nice shot upward right over here. Boom. And then pretty much went back down over here. Boom. All right. So can it break this little descending wedge right here? Had a nice shot upward and then went back down. Open. Open right there. OPEN. Shot up. Needs to break the descending wedge for it to be somewhat schmexy to mia. There we go. ZDGE seems to be moving again. ZDGE, wow, shot up some more, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. ZDGE still moving up on low volume, but it is moving up. All right, it is moving up. 10 million float, 3 million volume right there. ZDGE. All right, ZDGE still moving up on low volume. All right. All right. Alex Martinez says ZDG is asking for a halt over $4. Well, it is $4.18 now. Almost hitting 420. So let's see. Let's see what happens. Right now, though, it is moving up nicely. It is having a very nice move upward. Hit that $4.20 mark. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get some support resistance lines for it. I'm going to get some support and resistance lines for this stock right here. Bot right there. So has to break above 436. Has to hold above 389 for it to continue to be so much schmexy to mya. Otherwise, needs to do that right there. ZDGE continues to move up on low volume. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's see. ZDGE shot up to 76%. 76%. And yeah. Right now it's just doing its thing, very much so. ZDGE shot up to 76%. All right, ZDGE shot up 76%. And yeah, currently is trying to remain the top dog here. It is trying to remain the top dog because it is up above all the other stonks now as the top leading gainer. Has to break above that 10 million float, though, and also has to break above this resistance at $4.36. So, has to do that, ladies and gentlemen. Needs to hold above 389. Needs to hold above that for it to continue to be so much Mexi Tumya. As of now, though, it does need to break this little baby right over here. Needs to break this pennant right over here. So ZDGE needs to break the pennant. ZDGE needs to break the pennant for it to be so much Mexi to Mya. Bop right there. Let's get a share party going on. Let's get the 2100. Let's get the 2100. Let's get it. Come on now. 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 Yes, sir. All right. So, as of now, we are chilling. Right now. It's beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful. All right, so as of now, ZDGE needs to break above the pennant over here for it to be so much Mexi to Mya. So ZDGE needs to break the pennant. Needs to break that pennant right there. All right. ZDGE needs to break the pennant for it to be so much Mexi to Mya. All right. All right. So, yeah, that's what we got going on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. And remember to share, because sharing is caring, folks. Sharing is caring. And, of course, if you want access to our private Discord, link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We are just made different, and the early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loot, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we got going on today. Have a great weekend. We are actually going to be live again at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Power Plays. Power Plays. We are going to be doing that because Power Plays is the stream before Power Hour. It takes place at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just before Power Hour at 2 o'clock. So we got that going on. Actually, excuse me, Power Hour at 3 o'clock. Excuse me. There we go. So before Power Hour at 3, you get Power Plays at 1:30. All right, and basically it's hosted by the legend himself, the great Coach Nick Money. All right, the legend who is goated at Fortnite and also goated at to the stonks. You know what I mean? So goated at two things, man. He's goated at many things actually. He's a jack of all trades. You know what I mean? So as of now, the Coach Meister General will be streaming at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Power Plays. In that show, he's going to be analyzing stonks. He's going to be looking at stonks, checking them out, seeing what they do, how they're, how everything looks on them, all that good stuff right there. He's going to be taking a look at them and giving his honest opinions on them. And then to top it off, after that, he's going to be chilling out, getting some dubs in the Fortnite game, So, you got that going on right there. He is, I believe, one of the top 5% in the world in terms of Fortnite players. So, yeah, apparently he's pretty good. So, you know what I mean? He's pretty good. So, he's going to be reviewing stonks, then he's going to be playing some Fortnite, then he's going to go back to reviewing the stonks, letting them simmer. You know what I mean? And then after that, he's going to go back to the Fortnite. Right? It goes back and forth and back and forth. So he's going to be doing that today, later today at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be sure to check that out, ladies and gentlemen. Keep yourselves, stay tuned for that amazing show that is going to be coming out later today. And then after that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be chilling out for a long weekend. And then we'll be back at it again on Monday. All right. So, yeah, we're going to be chilling out, doing our thing. We're going to rest, recoup, and we're going to be back on that grind. All right. So you can find us on our YouTube channel at Coaching Money. At Coaching Money, where you can like, comment, and subscribe. Ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. Remember to share, ladies and gentlemen, because we do lots and lots and lots of videos. We do lots and lots of live streaming there. We do lots and lots of videos there. We do lots of shorts there. We do all sorts of cool stuff there. So be sure to check it out, man. Be sure to check that out, ladies and gentlemen. Also, you can check out our X.com, aka Twitter, at Coaching Money. At Coaching Money, where we do lots of live streaming. We do lots of stonk reviews, stonk analysis, all sorts of good stuff like that. We do that there as well. You can find us on our Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Coaching Money. A lot of stock stuff there too. You can find us on Twitch at Coaching Money. At Coaching Money, where we do lots of live streaming there as well. And you can find us on TikTok, Tiki Taki, aka the Tac Tac. The Tac Tac. You can find us there at DBL Nicks. At DBL NICKS. And the screen name is Coach Nick Money. Yes, sir, ladies and gentlemen. So, got that going on right there. You can find a lot of shorts there as well. So, be sure to check that out. And ladies and gentlemen, that's it for me. Much love. I'll see you guys at 1:30 for Power Plays with the Coach Meister General. All right? And much love. Take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful day. And we'll see you guys soon.